What is up, ladies and gents? It's your boy Jermaine Event, Main on MMA, and I'm here with Lewis Collins. And we are here for the Calf Kick Sports Weekly podcast, or maybe one day it'll be later named something else, who knows? But how are you doing today, Lewis?
I'm good, mate. Looking forward to this weekend. As we were just saying before we came on air, it's not the card that it's a bit of a sleeper of a card, what people are saying. Maybe, pay-per-view wise, what we're used to, or maybe what we're not used to recently. But obviously the ticket sales and that we were discussing as well has been crazy, how empty the arena's got to be. Maybe come fight night. Don't think Dana will be too happy, but
maybe they give away tickets or something.
They need to. I think they might just drop the ticket sales price-wise majorly, which might get a lot of people that maybe didn't want to go, because the ticket prices, as you know, we'll talk about that as well. It's like crazy. I don't know how they can. They're outpricing their actual hardcore fans.
No, yeah, I used to go to fights quite often, but like it's like multiplied. Like every year I go, like I was showing my wife I think maybe was it Mike Brown or somebody was posting how like maybe 25 years ago it was like $100 for a front row seat to see MMA. And now it was like $4,000 or something for that same seat. And it's like, dude, I used to just love this sport. I could sit on the floor for $300 and I thought that was balling. But now it's like insane prices. I got to pay $1,000, over $1,000 for John Jones fights to sit like kind of okay seats. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Thing is, well, if you pay that amount of money and you're there at the event, unless you've got a decent seat, you spend half the time actually looking up at the big screen. Yeah. Because if you're looking down on it, it's all right if you get perfect seats, like, but even if you pay good money, you know what it's like. It's the atmosphere when you're actually at an event is unlike anything. But
I usually like to sit in that sweet spot where I'm like eye level, maybe a little bit higher than the octagon.
Too high, too low. I've only ever got it perfect once. It was for UFC London for the Leon Edwards and Usman trilogy, and Gates to see fight that, but could not have got better seats, which I didn't pay crazy prices for either. I paid decent enough, but nothing like what you're getting charged now. Well, still getting, it was like £400, which is not too bad considering you kind of get that away in the bloody nosebleeds now for any type of card. But I think that's the problem. I know everything's the same now with prices and stuff like that, but you're talking like $600, $700, or $800 or pounds.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pretty shite seats, to be honest.
Yeah, people are saying for this card, $400 for the nosebleed. I paid like $350 when I sat like perfect eye level with the octagon for Usman and Colby the first time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And this is nosebleeds for $400. Nah,
it's only getting worse as well. That's the thing. Like, and I watched something on MMA on Point the other day there, and they done just a wee video about that, talking about, and Dana was like, "I'll never outprice my fans. I'll never get that greedy, and I'll never charge this, I'll never charge that."
Yep.
And he's so passionate about it as well. He's actually like a different person. And it's just greed for the promoters in boxing or other companies that charge that kind of crazy money. Whereas, and it's like nowadays, like, it is absolutely madness. The amount of price that you're charged for a ticket, and it's not even like you're guaranteed to like get a decent seat for that price anymore. It would be a bit more justifiable if you're in a decent seat and you've paid a lot of money, but you're in a really good seat, but you're paying stupid amount of money, like, and if you want to take a 2 or 3 years, or even if you want your family or anything like that, or you and your girlfriend or wife or whatnot, you're like talking over £1,000 for no good seats. If you want,
and I'm thankful that my wife doesn't like watching fights, so I can just buy one ticket.
You just for yourself. Luckily for me, or unluckily, well, luckily for me, my girlfriend, she likes it. She watches it with me as well. She didn't used to, and then during lockdown, we had nothing to watch, obviously. So like we watched all the Ultimate Fighter series, and she wasn't that bored. And we watched the season with, who was it? Was it Joanna and Claudia? And I don't know if it's because all the women in that were in it a bit more. She started getting into it, and then she started loved Joanna, and then she started watching all the fights with me. And after that, she'll sit and watch all the events and that with me. And then she's been to London with me a few times, New York and all that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
obviously we go to Cage Warriors and stuff like that as well. But so it's good that way, but you're still having to pay for 2 tickets, which is double the expenses, which is obviously
that usually changes where I decide to sit, because she's come to one event with me, and it was like I still sat on the floor, but I was like I'd be front row.
That extra wee bit. It's just that, but obviously with TKO taking over them and the WWE, I've seen a lot of people complaining about WWE prices as well, because that was recently in Glasgow, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
People were all complaining about that, and I don't know if it's just like a thing where I get it, prices with everything's going up. It is just what's happening in the world. Like everything's ridiculously dear.
Boycott.
But like thousands of pounds for
just don't go
for a card. Do you know what amazes me even more? With people, it's thousands of pounds or whatever for a card, and then they didn't turn up to the main card.
Yes, it's crazy, bro. Insane.
I think
I buy those tickets. I'm there from the first fight till the end.
I'm queuing to get in. And it's not just because I'm wanting to get my money's worth. It's because you're going to something like that. You want the full experience. You want to see all the fights. Obviously, not everyone's like us, where we want to see it. We all sit and watch a night at the Apex religiously every weekend or whatnot. But like, if you're going to pay that money and you want to go to an event, you want the full atmosphere, the whole experience. I've never understood. You see a lot with boxing as well, but especially MMA, it seems to be more when it's based in Vegas. Like, and as we were talking about earlier, I think they're a bit spoiled because you get so many cards. Whereas when it's maybe outside of these areas that get more cards, people are desperate and they do want to go and see the full event. But it blows my mind.
I like going to the events and getting there the whole time. You sit in that lower level, just not even the floor, but the lower level. You get to run into like fighters and all kinds of everybody you've seen on TV. They're all walking around, hanging out. It's just a good experience. Like, I don't understand why people don't show up until the very end of the show.
As you say, it's like 7 hours normally, roughly, sort of thing. And you want to see every sort of fight as well. I hate even going for a beer or going to the toilet, because you don't want to miss anything. And then you're seeing, I'm literally, I'll run to the toilet, run back, run back. And I see these guys like, no interest. I'm like, mate, I don't know. People,
it's weird.
Like, you've paid your money for your ticket, so fair enough. But it just blows my mind. You pay that much money, and you're like, no, you're only want to go and you'll watch the main card. And
see, that's my wife's issue though, is that I'm going to be there for like 7-8 hours.
It's a long time.
Yeah, she doesn't really care too much about fighting to sit there for an entire work day.
Exactly. When you think about it like that, it's so if it's like they start to like, it's obviously being in the UK, and probably all the European fans will feel my pain. It's like if it's a good card, right, and then you've got that full day, you've got like, I guess you're having it 11 o'clock at night. And then you'll go, right, you'll peak a bit and you'll be like, right, that's the early prelim start, so you'll get a wee bit of energy and you get excited and that. But then it gets to 12 o'clock and then 12:30 and then 1, and then it's just still the prelims. And then the actual normal prelims start at 1. And then you're talking about 3 o'clock in the morning before the meet. It is like when it comes on, you're thinking, I've only got another 8 hours to stay up, and you're like, I'm getting tired already. That's so honest. It's a shift to stay up for it.
Yeah.
But I like the cards being long though. I just sit back, relax, watch fights. I can't beat it.
But you're not a big fan of this weekend's card, are you?
Nah. As I said, I've seen worse cards. There's nothing that's really standard. Don't get wrong. There's decent fights on it and stuff like that, and there is. But I don't know if it's a mixture. The promotion for it seems to be non-existent for a start.
They don't really promote any fights. They promote the UFC.
That's it. The brand more than the actual fights itself. I know I might get a bit of stick for this, right? But I didn't think that Belal and JDM's got to be close. I,
Who
I
do you
don't think
have?
I think Belal's just got to run right through him.
Exactly. That's my pick.
I don't see how that fight is close. I just didn't. Like, people like I've been sharing a lot of stuff and that about look how clean he's boxing when he's fighting Kevin Holland. I'm like, that doesn't look clean. Like, it doesn't look clean. Like,
no. His I don't know. His boxing looks weird to me as he comes forward. It's good maybe if you're just boxing, but I don't know if like it's not gonna be great when Bilal's mixing everything together, taking him down, beating him up on the ground, like just constant, just in his face, mixing it up. I don't think this is gonna be when I look at the resume of Jack Della Maddalena, like his two best wins are Gilbert Burns and I would say Randy Brown. All right.
I think Randy Brown is very underrated.
Very underrated. All right. I'm a big Randy. I thought Randy Brown was going to win that fight.
I like that.
Bilal's resume is amazing. All right. If you look at the names on Bilal's resume, he's ran through.
He should change the nickname to Remember the Names, no Remember the Name.
Dude, he's dominated this division. All right. He's got a great resume. I think this is going to be an eye-opening fight for Jack Della Maddalena. And I think it could end pretty similar to the very first fight in his career. Beat up on the ground and pound, TKO stoppage. I think Bilal's just so much better than Jack. And it's crazy what hype can do because Jack is in here and I don't think he deserves the title fight right now.
Like obviously, with Shevchenko obviously been injured or whatnot, I'm not sure how long he's got to be out. But I don't know, because when he fought Burns, did Burns not tear his shoulder or tear something early doors?
Against Belal, yeah. I think he like went for a takedown and tore his shoulder out.
But like, when you see the fight, like, I think Belal might actually get a finish. That's how, like, I'm actually thinking he might ground and pound, like you say, or he might take his back. Because I didn't see what he's good enough, obviously, he's a good fighter and that. But I just don't see how he's got to beat Belal, especially basing it on the fight, the way he fought Leon. Because I think Leon does everything better than JDM. Like, I do, and it's just like, I mean, he's maybe not had the opportunities to prove it yet, but Leon's just one of the fighters that frustrates me. It's literally like he's sleeping all the time. It's like he's mid-fight and he forgets that he's actually in a fight. And if you're someone like Belal just coming out, is that right? Bang, slamming him, dunking him, boxing him.
He needs to fight. He needs the fight to go his way or he's uncomfortable. Bo Nickel recently said, when he's talking about the RDR fight, he was like, he fought his fight and I unfortunately fought his fight. And I'm like,
that's how it goes though. It's like, I think Belal will finish him, either take his back, get a sub, or like, to be honest, I gave Belal a lot of stick. Purely, I like him as a person. I think seems a good guy. He's just thinking that. I think it's quite funny to like sort of have a laugh about him. Like, the finishing situation is just like, but at the end of the day, the fight with Leon was, people can call him boring, but that was exciting. The pace, it was the pace that surprised me. Like, non-stop, constantly, even throwing the hands. He says he's not going to shoot a takedown.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I'm sure he said that against Leon as well, and he shot a takedown for about 30 seconds. But I wouldn't be surprised if Belal got a finish.
I think it's gonna look a lot like the Sean Brady fight. Like, just overwhelming him with strikes, and people are gonna be like, "What the hell? Canelo. He actually has Canelo hands."
maybe he wasn't lying.
What?
I mean, maybe he wasn't lying about that after all, but I do think he'll get. I think he'll win convincingly. I think he'll get a finish. When's Shevchenko back?
Dude, I don't know. I think Ian Gary was saying like he like broke his leg or something, and he's gonna be out for like a year. That's why Gary's so confident that he's just gonna jump in because Shavkat's out for a year or something like that.
With the hatred or dislike you've got for Ian Gary on a scale 1 to 10, how angry would you be if JDM got injured, Ian Gary came in and finished Belal?
So Ian Gary, as a person, sucks, but as a fighter, he's very fucking talented. All right. I want to make that clear that I understand how talented Ian Gary is. If he fights next, I don't see him beating Belal. No. I think he's too safe. I don't think he beats JDM, honestly. Or maybe I don't know.
I think he would beat JDM, to be honest.
Because he could grapple with him, and I don't know. Maybe
he's mixing it up, and I think we got it. Do you know what it is? I think to beat Belal, I think it's going to take an actual, obviously somebody to stop the takedowns is one, but someone else that will stand in the pocket and box with him that'll catch him with power. Because Belal just like is. Do you know who he reminds me of? He's quite similar. Like a bigger version of Arab, but maybe just not as quite. Yeah. They're just constant pressure. It doesn't give you space, just constantly in your face, throw him. Even when he's throwing punches, half the time he's no bothered about them landing. He's more thinking about the hands coming up, like cover, and then bam, shoot. Mm-hmm. And then vice versa. When he goes to shoot, people's hands are down, and then he goes upstairs.
You know who else he reminds me of? Canelo Alvarez. And he's just going to put it on JDM on Saturday.
What happens if JDM wins?
He might, because JDM's got some crazy power, right? When he fought Randy Brown was touching him and moving, and then he just like slightly touched Randy Brown's chin, and his whole body started to spaz, and like he awkwardly fell to the ground. It was over. Like, so he's got crazy power. We've seen it time and time again. And we've seen Belal get finished with strikes, but that was a long time ago.
Exactly, he's a different fighter now, Belal.
Definitely a different fighter now. But I don't think Jack wins, man. I don't think it happens.
I try to wrap my head. People think I don't know who does beat Belal, to be honest. Do you know what? I actually think it would take
Islam.
Mate, Belal knows Islam beats him. That's why Belal wants nothing to do with Islam.
Like, he's like, I'll go to middleweight.
Islam was like making jokes that he wants to come up and fight for. Like, if Islam was that loyal to Belal, he wouldn't be talking about.
Exactly.
He would be saying, "Listen, I didn't want to fight Belal." Blah. I mean, he's kind of saying that, but he's not really. Well, but whereas Belal was like, no, he's my brother.
Yeah.
He's my brother. I'm not fighting him. I'd rather move weights. Whereas Islam's sort of like, Islam's like, it seems like Islam's like, aye, we trained together a few times and I like you, and you're a brother, and but I prefer your belt. I'd rather your belt than be friends with you. I think, do you know what, I could be quite funny if Islam just went, you know what, I'm not waiting anymore. Belal keeps beating people. Belal, I'm sorry, but I'm coming for your belt.
That would be a crazy fight.
I think Belal would vacate before fighting Islam. Like,
I would like to see it. I want to see it.
I want to see Islam at 170. I
want to see him versus Belal. I think you think naturally, Islam's gonna walk through him, but the pressure. Belal is a smaller Marab. I mean, he's a bigger Marab. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have that pressure. I think that's a very interesting fight. More interesting than we're giving Belal credit for, I think. I think he's got a much better chance.
I think it just became popular to shit on him a bit.
Yeah. He's always been a local guy for me, so I don't shit on Belal.
I like him as a person. That I just think I think he's quite funny on Twitter. I think he's quite underrated. Like, it comes out with some stuff. I just found it strange, the hatred they had for Leon. I still think it's mad. It absolute despise. It seems like he hates Leon more than anybody ever.
Yeah, he can't stand Leon. But Leon was super cocky, super dismissive of him, and then he got dominated, as I thought was going to happen.
Did you see his tweets during the Leon fight with Sean Brady? It was like, Leon thinks it's still 5 a.m. and stuff.
Dude, it was awesome. So awesome. He was like, Sean Brady just copied his blueprint or whatever.
It's another relentless fighter, but they've quite similar style, but I think more is Sean Brady's more jiu-jitsu style when he gets into the gap one, whereas Belal's more wrestle, get up, light you up. But nah, so I think Belal fairly convincingly gets a finish. Gets his finish that he's been wanting the last few fights. Well, he got one against Brady.
He got a finish over Brady. People don't give him credit for that one. I brought that up. Somebody was like, he still didn't get a knockdown. It's like, what are we talking about here? He finished him.
It's like saying the same way Alex Pereira and Izzy. When Pereira finished Izzy, came out. I mean, he's out on his feet pretty much, you know what I mean? But in fact, did you know? I'm sure did not Brady no down, but like into the cage, sort of had him up against the cage.
Yeah, he had him against the cage, just taking punches.
Either Belal's got to come out left hand first round, Canelo hand, show the hands.
He says no takedowns. I don't believe him.
I didn't believe him one bit. I hope he's telling you the truth, but he's not that stupid. He isn't that stupid. He's not going to just to pander to the crowd and go, oh, I've no shot a takedown. He doesn't need to do that. His whole game is you didn't know when he's going to take you down. When he takes you down, you might get back up, but he's going to take you back down again.
Are you not excited for Shevchenko versus Fiorot?
I think that's a good fight, to be honest. I do. Shevchenko, I feel like Shevchenko lost a lot of steam, obviously, with the Grasso fights and that, but now she's back. I think Shevchenko wins that fight sort of thing as well. Maybe it's hard to say, but I think Shevchenko will take that pretty, not easily, because it's never easy, and you never know. Especially
you never know, man. Manon is like, she's big for the weight class.
She exactly, and like people that Shevchenko has had problems with have been bigger sort of girls and bigger for the weight class and whatnot.
She got dropped by Grasso.
Aye,
you know what I'm saying?
I like Grasso's style. She's like, I find it. I don't know if it's coincidence or whatnot for they two to be back on the same card.
Yeah, they're back to back. I think it's probably like a backup situation.
Possibly, actually, yeah. Good point.
And then if Natalia beats Grasso, then she's probably going to be next in line.
And it lines the fights up. And to be honest, though, they could do like the winner versus loser. There's many ways to do it.
But what about Verna?
Well, I didn't. I think Alexa Grasso, Shevchenko both take the win, but they're not going to make that fight again. I don't think. Surely.
I don't want to see that right now.
There's like no one else, and like we need something. We need a few like women to come through because it just seems to be really stale now.
I don't know why I said Verna. That's the wrong weight class.
we need because Pena and Kayla Harrison, they're trying the hardest to promote women's MMA, and Nunes is just sitting in the back and like, I'll wait and see how this goes, and I'll come and ping one years.
I can't stand Nunes. I don't want to see it. I hate every time they show her on the screen. Get out of my sport, Nunes.
You don't like her, nah.
She's too good.
It literally makes it boring because she's that much a level above everyone else.
So, like, that boxer, right, in the Olympics that they were saying might have been a dude or whatever that whole situation was. If it wasn't, that boxer was so dominant that everybody was like, yeah, it could be. I'm pretty sure it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening with Nunes. She's so dominant, right? It's like a man is beating these women up in there. Is how it's crazy.
I want to see Kayla Harrison just in fight Nunes, just to see out of curiosity. I want to see just because she's so big and physical, but you've seen Kayla Harrison get beat off people, somebody that's never near the level.
Not anywhere near Nunes.
You know what I want to see? I want to see what's her bloody name? Dakota come over for PFL.
Oh, Dudakova or Dudacheka or something.
I thought the UFC was going to sign her because she was just to spice it up. They need more fighters. There's nothing really happening.
She was at the one UFC event.
Aye, and then I assumed because she couldn't get a fight at PFL because seen the guy for PFL was saying like she's like is high, like she's at the top, but none of the contenders want to fight her.
Yeah, she spoke out. And then they were like, all right, we're going to give her a fight.
they've obviously worked something out. So PFL's getting a lot of sort of stick with a lot of fighters, like, didn't really know where they stand, sort of thing, eh? And I think they've just sort of, but the UFC is just sort of, I thought they would have jumped on that. They need more stars. I think they need like another.
She might be under contract. I'm pretty sure.
I think she said she had one fight left on her contract. So maybe just got to fight that. But I thought she was having. Apparently, they couldn't find her fights, and you're like, she's the champion, is she not? She's the champion, eh?
Yep.
Imagine that in the UFC. Nobody wants to fight the champion. Like,
she's too good.
Like, imagine being in a weight class with somebody and nobody wants to fight the champ. Like, that's mad.
See, yeah, that's the difference. You know, there's when you're in those other franchises or whatever, those other promotions, there'll be like one good fighter that's really running through those people. Then they come over to the UFC. And they're probably average.
I was surprised when actually with her fight with Santos, and she just ran through it. I was like, because you always visualize like, and I think Santos got done for steroids in that fight as well. Actually,
I thought Santos was gonna dominate. Definitely,
I thought Santos. I was like, mate, like Santos went split and split, close and close with Shevchenko, like, and she just ran through. I was actually watching. I was like, what am I watching? Even my girlfriend said, why are you so surprised? I was like, this isn't meant to be happening, but like it's the same way. Like, it never surprises you anymore. There's so many fights that you just like think's got to go one way, and anything can happen. Literally, like with a split second as well. You just didn't know. It's hard to pick. Like, she's trying to pick fights, man. It's like,
I think Manon might take this one, and maybe Valentina retires. Then they sign the girl from PFL to kind of come over and take over this division. I think Grasso, I think she like got lucky, performed above her level for like a few times there against Valentina, and then she came back to earth in the last fight.
Aye.
All right.
Styles make fights as well, and then when Shevchenko's got that sort of, even though she doesn't strike me as someone that would take people lightly, but when you're dominating people fight after fight after fight after fight, and you're just winning all the time, and then you get caught off guard, and then you're like, she's maybe questioned herself going into the second fight, because the second fight was close as well, but she's maybe just questioned herself a bit, and in that first fight, they take them by surprise, but it's the same way, like, obviously what happened with Pena and Nunes. Look at that, the second fight. Like, compared to, like, that first fight with Pena and Amanda Nunes
was amazing.
Like, it's the commentary that makes it. Like, how excited they're getting, and the crowd start going mental. It's just like, that's one of the fights that you'll go back and watch. I'll just go back and watch from time to time. And it's a mixture of the crowd, the way it's happening, the commentary, everyone's losing their absolute mind. It's like, and because it was like a slow, it wasn't just a knockout or a quick takedown. It was like, you seen her fade and you're like,
yeah. It was beautiful. She's tired. I was like, holy shit, it's happening.
I remember watching it like on my couch. I was like, I didn't believe what I'm seeing. See, as soon as I seen her get the takedown as easy as she did, I was like, she's got to finish her. She'll sub her here. Checked out. She was just thinking about, I do that. She's just doing this, coming back for blood. I
was so happy for that moment.
It was funny. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah, dude. Perfect moment, dude.
When she was pointing over at DC, and she's like, I told you. And DC's losing his mind. It's like, she told me she was going to take the fight right there and fight her in there.
You'll never do that again.
Nah. She's fucked it for everybody now, because Nunes will only take anybody lightly anymore.
She's not getting past Kayla.
No. I think Kayla will beat her. And then Kayla will call out Nunes, and then I don't think Nunes will fight Kayla, because I think Nunes likes the fact that they're chasing her. But
I think the fact that Pena is a two-time champion shows you where that division is. You know, she's two-time champion. We're gonna have Kayla Harrison come and dominate with, I think, is pretty limited skills. All right. I think she's still gonna dominate Pena, and if she gets her wish and Nunes comes back, Nunes is gonna fucking mollywop her.
Nunes, because the thing is, she's not going to be able to ragdoll Nunes like she does everywhere. Nunes will just shrug her off sort of get like boxing
And then just pop, knock her the fuck out.
That'll be like a Ronda Rousey style fight, because they're similar fighters too. Harrison and Rousey. I think Rousey was also a lot better than Harrison. I think she's just so tanky a machine. She's just that big and strong. I think she's gonna get tagged early with that. She's gonna feel that power, and she's gonna be like, I wonder if they've ever trained together at ATT. They must have.
I from what I remember hearing with Kayla in interviews, they would kind of put them in separate areas and not really have them training.
They'd want to train together unless there was a personal.
But then eventually Nunes just left the gym altogether.
Aye. Did she not was it she started her own gym or whatever?
Yeah, she started her own gym. But she was then she started talking shit about the gym. Mainly saying they were trying to put her against Kayla.
Maybe well, it's similar to the Kobe and Masvidal thing. There's that many big fighters and people in the same weight class at ATT. You're always going to get that. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the amount of, especially the amount of lightweights. The amount of lightweights they've got is crazy. They've got, Gamrot trains there. Poirier,
yep.
Moicano.
But thankfully Poirier's retiring. I always thought that was weird that Poirier and Gamrot.
Like what do you think of the Holloway fight? Do you think, are you happy with that?
Oh no, he could have did something different. I mean, whatever. It makes me think of when John Jones beat DC the second time, and they were like, DC, what are your thoughts on the rivalry? And he's like, well, if he beat me twice already, it's not really a rivalry. Yeah. No. So what's the point of this fight? Poirier already won the first two. So
who would you have Poirier fighting his last fight?
I thought Ilya.
That would be one.
I thought that was the perfect fight for Ilya to just come in here. If he's gonna do it, I think that's a tall task. I think I kind of favor Poirier in that fight.
Realistically, Poirier's hard fight for anybody, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a hard fight. So I thought that would have been a perfect fight if they didn't want to give Ilya the title fight, but it looks like they are giving him the title fight against somebody. But if they weren't, I was like, Poirier and Ilya is the perfect fight to make. Yeah, that's the fight.
I feel like it was like, I don't know, like I don't like when, like, see when they two fight, I'd like the two of them. I didn't want any of them to lose. And there's times like that before where you're like, but you're still looking forward to the fight. But as daft as it sounds, I didn't want Poirier. I want Poirier to go out like in a spade of glory.
Another fight I wanted.
If he wins, he's already beat him before anyway, so it's not going to be that. If he loses, they're like, oh well, he's finished anyway. But I think it's a lose-lose situation. It's got to be this. Don't get me wrong. It's got to be war. It's got to be absolute carnage. It will be. It'll be brilliant. But
Poirier was he picked Chandler before the Patty fight.
Aye.
He's like bet the house on Patty. Aye. Then they had the clip and he was like so shocked after the fight. I would love it if they had fought. If they booked that fight.
Do you know what? I actually think Poirier, he'd give Poirier problems.
He would give Poirier a lot of problems.
They grapple. Mate, I knew Paddy's grappling was good in that, right? But I genuinely didn't think it was that good. I didn't even know if he knew it was that good. Well, maybe he did, obviously. But when you fought a lot of people, but even when you step up against Tony was at that point in his career, and then you step up with Bobby Green, even though he beat Bobby shot a takedown, he caught him in a guillotine, subbed him, and then triangled or whatever it was.
Bobby should probably retire.
Aye. And then Chandler, people can say what they want, but Chandler, he's lost all his fights. But all his fights have been close. Maybe part of the Oliveira last one wasn't as close, but he had his moments. Whereas Paddy literally just made them like it look like not even like. Obviously, the time off and that might have been a factor.
Yeah, maybe don't take 2 years off waiting for Conor.
Something that's never going to happen.
You're like 35, and you're like, all right, I'll take 2 years off. Okay. All right, my guy.
How many times he could have got 2, 3 fights, 4 fights in that time, made more money than what?
I think Armin was like, you could have lost like 4 good fights, like 4 entertaining fights in this time.
Mate, that's the point. Like, I don't know why people even bother. Like, I think the best thing with McGregor is you just dismiss him now. You just dismiss him. Like, if people ask you, go, no, I'm fighting for legacy. I'm fighting for belts. Like, mate, it's no. I can't believe Chandler held on to that as long as he did. It still blows my mind that he done that.
He still wants it. He still talks about it.
I reckon there's more chance of Khabib coming out of retirement than McGregor fighting again.
You know how he gets that Conor fight? McGregor he shows up at an Irish pub. He's got a red dress on, a wig, and like Conor doesn't know who it is. And Conor just
he's desperate. Takes a camera to him.
That's how you get Conor to fight you.
You need to disrespect him. I didn't understand why fighters didn't go like deep in McGregor. Like, I don't know. It's just like, but I think the best thing to do is like what Islam does. Like, Islam just dismisses McGregor. Like, it's like, but because he knows like levels, McGregor's nowhere near that level anymore. Hasn't been for years.
No, and he won't. He doesn't dedicate himself to it anymore.
No,
he's living a terrible lifestyle. So,
his days are gone.
Unfortunate. Once was great, and now is blocked on all my social media accounts.
Mate, I had a Conor McGregor, like, he signed thing up in that in my background. And then I was like, you know what? I kind of have to take up. Like, he got me into the sport. I liked it before, but he got me into it. Being Irish, and obviously Scottish and Irish are similar, very similar. I just wish he got a grip, to be honest. I just wish he like knuckled, even if it's not that he fight again, just knuckle down, be normal.
Just be normal, yeah. Raise your kids, like
exactly. Like, he's like partying every other weekend. I always wonder, like,
he's got like 4 or 5 kids or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And he's just like, he's literally lost the plot. He literally been, like, he thinks he's got to be president of Ireland. All the Irish hate him. They hate him. Like, they might get the odd obviously people, let's vote for him, but he'll never get into that, like, close to that. He's no Donald Trump. He's not going to be Donald Trump. Come on,
and people, I don't know, man. Donald Trump was on TV for like years and like was this character that everybody like wanted to be like before they really even knew who the fuck this guy was. You know what I'm saying? I guess Conor kind of has that, but I think this sport is pretty niche. It's way more niche than he realizes. And from what I'm hearing, he's not too well liked over there.
Nah, so he's not, like, he was absolutely adored and loved in that, and then just because the Irish people seen it before we seen it, I think. Because when I was over in Dublin for Bellator, and like a taxi driver was asking me like what I was over for, and I was trying to explain I'm over for Bellator Dublin, and he didn't understand. He was like, "Oh, that's that cage fight and all that, blah blah blah." Just like not really know him, and he was like, "Tell you who I had in my taxi? That Conor McGregor's a fucking this, is a fucking that." And I was like, at this point, I thought he was loved in Dublin.
Yeah.
And this driver was like, no, he's hated. You know, he was talking about the taxi driver was telling us he was in the back of his taxi, and the taxi driver told him he stopped taking, like, sniffing drugs in the back of the taxi. And McGregor's basically telling him, away you go. Like, fuck off, I'll do what I want. Chucked him a wad of money. Keep driving. Days your tail, basically. And he's in the back of the taxi with 2 girls, sniffing drugs. Like, and open. And it's like it's an open thing in Dublin. Like, he just goes about, he doesn't live like an actual celebrity. Like, the places he's gone to, like, house parties and like.
This is all allegedly.
Well, that's true. But it's like he's not even living like a. Like, it's one thing to say he's not living like a professional MMA fighter. There's that, but he's not even like living like a normal celebrity. He's living like an absolute head case. Like, he's like I just think it's the money, mate. The money, he's made that much money and he's just that successful. It's like, what am I meant to do today? I've not got that instinct to train. He's got kids in that though. So you're like, mate, you can do. He
comes off like a child star to me. Like,
that's what it's like. It's similar to like the Mike Tyson thing as well. With Mike Tyson, you see it all the time. Similarly, what I thought was going to happen, what kind of did with Ryan Garcia. Like before the Devin Haney fight, he was losing his mind. But that's money and fame, and
yeah.
But that's the problem is drinking.
why does no one talk about that anymore? He was saying some crazy shit before the Devin Haney fight.
Mate, he was saying about children being raped in front of him.
Dude, insanity.
He was raped as a kid.
Now they just don't even talk about it.
It was so. Remember people like. Remember they put the video up, and it was like he had been kidnapped. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he was like looking over like as if he was getting told what there was. He tries to say that was just on weed and alcohol.
Nah.
He was on. I don't know what he was on.
I've been on weed and alcohol, and
aye, that's not doing that to you.
That's not what that does.
Maybe he should get whatever he was taking out before. And I didn't mean the Osterine or whatever you call it. He was taking allegedly. I was gutted with that last weekend. I couldn't believe that performance with him as well. That whole weekend he boxed.
Shout out to Raleigh Romero.
I like him. He's a likable guy. Eh? It was funny. He was talking about. He was like, even when I beat you, I still want you to go and beat Devin Haney's ass again.
Nah. I'm definitely not a Ryan Garcia guy.
You know, I like him. I think. Did you watch the fight the week before? Eubank and Bem.
No, I did not watch that one.
Oh, brilliant! Honestly, I'm not exaggerating. Probably the best boxing match I've ever seen.
Really,
mate. I don't know if it's just because we're in the UK. There's more hype about it. It's because it's so big, mate. I promise you now. Go and watch it, and you'll be like. The whole thing on YouTube, the entrances and everything is like honestly, it's mental. Like they're just like I got to the point of like sixth round, seventh round. They weren't even like in stances or anything. They were just flat footed, just standing. They're literally just in the pocket, fighting and like
I saw like the drama leading up to it, like the egg, and then Eubanks Senior was like. He was like, that's dishonorable or something. Like, he was like, I don't stand with that.
Like, yeah, it's hilarious.
But then he like showed up at the arena and I was like, oh, it was all an act this whole time.
He was, the crowd went absolute. It was like something with the WWE.
That's what I felt like. So I was like, dude, it was like,
the door's opening and he's just sitting because he's got that big cheesy smile and he's all smiling. And he's got the big smart jacket on.
Dude, I thought this was some WWE shit, and I didn't want to watch it at that point. I was like, damn, they sold me on this. I fell for it.
Watch this fight. Honestly, I guarantee you'll struggle to find many better fights than that. I mean, skill for skill. Obviously, they're both skilled and world class, whatever, but it wasn't like a boxing match. It was just a fight. Literally, they were just like fighting. In the center of the ring, the whole entire.
Did you see Roach Davis?
Nah.
Because I was like that was probably one of the best fights I've seen in a long time. I was gonna see if we could compare the two.
I'll be surprised if you say anything that was better than the Ben. But honestly, mate, it was. I was actually watching it. I was like, oh, losing my eyes. What the?
I don't know, man. Lamont Roach Jr. is a bad boy. All right.
I think, mate, boxing. I think. Did you see any of the weekends, the boxing with the Garcia card? It was a bit
like Teofimo. Yeah, I don't rock with Teofimo Lopez. Haney is Haney. You know, I want him to do better. You know, I wanted him to keep training with Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you saw the whole drama with his dad and Floyd after he got beat up by Garcia. Dude, Devin Haney's dad lost his mind on live. He like called Floyd on live and was like, what? Like going off, like just losing his mind. And Floyd is just like embarrassing him. He was like, yo, do you guys want some help? And Devin Haney is like, well, his father's like, he doesn't need any help. And Floyd's like, it looks like he needs a lot of help.
No, they were both sitting like they were sitting laughing at Garcia's fight on Saturday or Friday, and you're like, mate, he just absolutely whipped you. Like, do you know what? I like Devin, right? It's his dad I can't stand. It's him. His dad.
No, his dad is crazy. His dad like doesn't really know anything about boxing.
No.
And
he reminds me of John Fury, but no, it's crazy that way. John Fury Whereas John Fury is absolutely mental. Whereas that it seems like Devin's dad just wants Big Bill Haney, just wants that attention for himself. And I cheer your son on, cheer him on, tell him he's the best. You've got to think that about your son, but we all know what happened in his last fight, and in the fight that he just had there, it didn't really prove any of him.
Yeah, he needs to train with Floyd. That's what he should do.
Any boxer that's got the opportunity to train with Floyd, whether they like him or not, should be training with Floyd. Floyd's just there's a reason why he's one of the best ever, if not the best ever. You know what I mean?
The best of all time.
People,
that's how I feel.
If Floyd wasn't as flashy as the way, if it wasn't as flashy as what he is or what he was, or then I think people see if he was just this humble guy, normal, people would say he's the best ever. But I think because he's just so money orientated, and then you're like, but then he's a prize fighter. That's what
yeah. So that's what it should be. Everybody here is clearly money oriented because you're fighting for your lunch for the most part here. But yeah, not his personality back in the day. I was always a Floyd fan. When he was the pretty boy, he was very humble. He was like, he would do those interviews. He'd be like, yeah, we went in, we won the belt, and then we came in, went up a weight class, won that belt. Like he was very timid in interviews. Then he switched to Money Mayweather, and he wanted everybody to hate him. And then he started making more money. So like, but that's not him,
He's just
not him.
People can say what they want about him, but when it comes to pure boxing, mate, you didn't get better. Like, how can you have that many fights, right? And I wonder how many rounds he's lost, or he's never been dropped. I wonder how many like proper. If you added it up over his career, how many big shots he's actually took. Like, we know he's not been dropped, but like, you could probably count on one hand how many big shots he's took, and most of his fights have went to go the distance. And it's like, people can say what they want about Floyd, but at the end of the day, mate, there's a reason why he is that good, and he's beat the people. He's beat people.
He needs to finish people. His hands were bad toward the end of his career. I think like after like the Arturo Gatti fight, he pretty much just was defensive from that point on. Yeah, but he beat the shit out of Arturo Gatti. That was like the last time he could really come forward, but it is what it is. He stayed undefeated, the greatest of all time.
Go to the nightclub, running home at 3 a.m. The story's in. But
yeah, dude, like just so much discipline.
Then he fought Logan Paul.
With no training.
No, I hate that guy. Yeah, I actually hate Logan Paul. Yeah. I think Logan Paul makes Jake Paul look likable.
Yeah, honestly,
because Jake Paul's
much more likable.
Like Logan in his mind is this, because he could have dropped Dylan Dennis. You know what I mean? Dylan Dennis wasn't even from back. Dude. I still think if Dylan Dennis had your 3 shots back at him, I think Dylan Dennis would have beat him. I
wanted Dylan Dennis to just fight back, man.
Aye.
Like everybody was on his side by the time that fight came. Everybody wanted Dylan to win that fight. And then he was just terrified in there. Like, Logan's huge.
Yeah, he's big.
He's big as fuck. He's roided out of his mind.
Just at his seat.
It is what it is, man. He wasn't gonna win that fight, but he should have tried.
Like actually somehow I came on my YouTube a few weeks ago just by chance. It was when one video skipped or whatnot. I was like, I was watching it in the back, and I was like, he's got so many opportunities. See, anytime he had a go, he would catch him. He wouldn't be thrown much, but all that YouTube and boxing and stuff like that, it drives me mental. It actually does. Like, I just want to send Poatan in there just to fight one of them. Just be over with. Get it over and done with.
Well, speaking of the fights from the boxing matches from the last weekend, Canelo fought, and what's most important is that he faced off with Terrence Crawford afterwards. They're saying that those two are going to fight in September.
Apparently so. I think Big Turkey IC, or however you say his name, he's getting all the fights done with that money. It's just, but people can say what they want, but all these big fights are happening. Look how many big fights he's making or made.
Dana's gonna co-promote.
Wait till they find out they're getting 12 and 12.
That's hilarious. Give Canelo 12 and 12.
What the fuck? he actually been in 12 and 12 million. He's like, even then, he's probably still like I see. Honestly, I think Dana's checked out MMA because of this boxing.
Yeah, he's been talking about boxing for so long now. But I don't know. I never really know what's on Dana's mind. He keeps talking about this slap fighting as if it's actually interesting. So, like, I don't know if he's just lying to me about the things he's trying to do. Like, is this boxing? Is it actually gonna? When is this first event? When is this gonna happen?
I think that is the first event they're promoting.
Oh, really? That's gonna be a good. Okay.
I think they're just got to. The thing is, if they've got his money back in Turkey's,
Callum Walsh or up there, or King Callum, is he gonna fight on that card?
He'll be 100%. He's got to be the poster boy for Dana. It's good. Yeah. I seen. Funnily enough, when I was in New York for what was supposed to be the Jones and Stipe first fight before the first fell out, me and my girlfriend on the Thursday night. We were like wanting to go to the press conference. There wasn't a press conference for the card, weirdly enough, because obviously. But so what they were doing, it was in the theatre, the MSG. We went to see the Callum Walsh box. The atmosphere was unreal. We were like, I couldn't believe the amount of Irish fans that were there for a fight like that. And you're like,
oh yeah,
surely they're all from here and they've not travelled over. But he's a good boxer. I mean, he's a really good boxer. I think Dana will want him as a poster boy. But I'm being Irish in that as well. He's got to be. That's his thing. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of fighters will know that they're boxer wise, they've got to be like, right, they've got to get the money for Turkey. And if they do base it like how the UFC is based, I think that can work with the money, because boxers get obviously crazy money. But I think a lot of them, if they get in like a proper league and rankings and stuff like that.
And if people stay active, if the contracts are the same, as long as they stay active, those numbers are going to go up. You know what I'm saying? And they're talking about getting young guys fresh out of the Olympics and whatnot. So I think this could be pretty profitable pretty fast.
And he'll be building it as well. Like that Turkey's happy to throw a lot of money to get it started. But as you say, it will turn profitable, 1,000,000%. It's just getting to that point. But it's the same as any company, mate. You have to, if you've got money to throw in to start with, and you've got someone like Dana who's got knows the connections, and end of the day, he's done what he's done with the UFC. And I think it's the format and the pacing of the UFC is what makes it so good. Like the pacing, that's what I hate about boxing. You're watching 25 minutes, 30 minutes in between each fight sometimes, and you just want back-to-back fights. Whereas the UFC, the pacing on it, you know what you're getting. And I think they'll stick with that, and they'll do the champions fighting the champions, and best fight the best. One belt, which is the big thing.
You know, they haven't announced where the UFC is going to be streaming, right? Because their deal with ESPN Plus is up already.
I think I've seen a lot of people say Netflix.
Yeah, when are they going to announce that? So I'm curious where where the boxing matches are going to be taking place. Where can we watch this?
What, like the TKO banner sort of thing?
Yeah, kind of like how the WWE network or some shit like that. I would hope we would. WWE has they're on Netflix. I hope they put this on Netflix, put the boxing on Netflix, put it all on Netflix.
It's just easier. You can't there's too many. You can't get big pay-per-views anymore because nobody pays for them. It's too easy accessible to watch.
Do you watch WWE?
I do a wee bit. I can't. I have to admit,
do you have to pay for pay-per-views now that it's on Netflix?
Nah, still literally Netflix subscription. That's sure.
You get to watch pay-per-views. When I was a kid, it'd be $50 for WrestleMania.
You can also too. It's like the WWE Network. You can go back and watch all the anything. I'm sure pretty much anything which
Interesting.
it's crazy. Like but then the
I
day,
have Netflix, but I don't watch wrestling anymore. But
nah, I didn't. To be honest, I loved it when I was younger, and
oh
then
yeah, me too.
I always watched it like. And then I was hearing all this buzz about it in the last couple of years, and everyone's talking, and I was like, I'm going to try to get a shot again. And then I was realizing, I was like, can he be? And I was watching again. I was like, oh, I'll get back into it. And
I tried to get back into it. I was a huge Bray Wyatt guy. Rest in peace to Bray. Yeah,
I mean, I just liked it. It's just, and then obviously they carry on with Vince McMahon as well. Mate, since he left or fired, whatever happened to him, that's when it's got good again.
Yeah, like he was holding it back definitely. But he had the whole sex scandals.
He's a big pervert.
Yeah, there was like a documentary on Netflix about him.
It's like I don't know how it's surprising. When you think about some of the storylines about like that he's done over the years, it's mental. Like, remember the one with Kane? He had Kane and Triple H. Kane was molesting a dead body or something.
Oh yeah, they had that.
Like, how does that come into his head? Like,
that show's crazy. But in the documentary with Vince, they were showing how like he had the sexual assault case. Like Sable sued him, saying he sexually assaulted her, and then she came back to the company after winning the lawsuit, and then he immediately wrote in the script that she was like in love with him. She was like always around him. Like that was like her character now.
Money talks, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Must be weird. Like it's like some of the things like he got away with over the years and that, but that's like because was he part of the TKO banner when it merged with UFC? I think
he was. When it officially happened, he was kind of like higher up than Dana slightly. But then everything happened. He stepped away for a second, and then more shit came out,
and then step away again. And now they're slating him now. Like they're slating him on the chat, like the show. Like,
oh really?
I'm like the wrestlers obviously like they're doing it like obviously they're meant to be doing it or well they are not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like like they're making comments about him and stuff like that. No, seeing him personally, but like just like it's not being held hostage in that anymore and stuff like that. That's another one, mate. Like he's like, can you imagine him and Dana? They'll try to like they're so different but so similar. Can you know what I mean? It's like they've got like they two try to have a conversation because you know Dana absolutely hates wrestling. He would have just thought, oh, get me away from this old creepy.
No, I think he at this point because what was it? I was also on that documentary, man. They were talking about how Vince McMahon was actively trying to shut down the UFC. He was trying. Yeah, he hated it. He thought people wouldn't want to watch WWE. Fake wrestling, so they would run ads like against the UFC back in the day. Like, but apparently, like Dana White is like, oh, we're friends now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he's like, I don't want to fuck with that guy anymore, man.
He's an old psycho. That's why.
Dude, they ran ads against the UFC back in the day. Crazy.
The UFC. I'll not be long before Dana steps away from the UFC. I would not be surprised. Especially
no, I think he's out. I think he's out pretty soon. And then Joe Rogan's gone, which I think would probably help the commentary team.
Joe Rogan's just the same thing. It's just wow. Yeah. Wow. Like anytime he just says it's repeated. He's pioneering that. Like, but do you know who my favorite commentator is? Probably Paul Felder.
I like Felder. I'm a huge Laura Sanko guy.
Aye, mate, she's good as well. Like, she's a good commentator. I love Bisping and I like Dominic Cruz, but see, within two of them are on commentary together, I can't deal with it because it's like they're just arguing each other the whole event.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I like DC. I like DC on commentary. I like the fact that he has a joke and he plays a bit and.
Like if it's DC, Anik, and Laura, I like that team.
Aye. They're brilliant on the weigh-in shows on a Friday before a pay-per-view. Like, see, watching what they get up to, some of the things what they get up to, and waiting on everyone making the weight cut and that one. DC sitting with a big bit of food in his mouth with a beer in one hand.
Oh, DC's doing the Ultimate Fighter.
Aye.
Does this Ultimate Fighter season matter? Does anybody even really care about the Ultimate Fighter
when
anymore?
is it out? When is it?
I think pretty soon.
I still think what they could have done was something like Paddy and Moicano for something like that. That's the kind of thing I think they should have. Somebody they need a superstar to go into it, and even at that, do you know what I think it is as well? People it makes the fighters are better level and higher level and stuff like that. Take it more serious, but because all they do is train and go home, and then go home, train and fight. And it's not as exciting. They need something to spice it up. I don't know what they're. Whereas back in the day, they're all drinking in the house, they're all fighting, they're all partying, and then
I mean, when I watched the Connor and Chandler season, you know, Connor would bring a chef over and do some baller ass shit for the people every now and then. That was kind of interesting, you know.
It's the sob stories. I didn't like the sob stories. Like we get it. You've made it here. It's a big moment for you. We get it. But
and plus the way most TV shows are structured like that, those reality shows, you can pretty much tell who's gonna lose by like top stories or how the stories are going beforehand.
I mean, I get it. They're emotional in that, but it's repetitive when every fighter that's coming on to talk has got the same sob story. Like, I want someone a bit cocky.
It is usually the same story over and over.
It is and they're showing photos of their children and their wife, and then
and they're hoping that this will be the one thing that changes. Everyone's supporting them, and then we never hear from these people again after this.
And that's it. It's so repetitive. I don't know what they could do with it.
I mean, hopefully the families are all right.
They need to do something different. That's the thing. But I don't know what they're you know what they actually should do? All they need to do, all Dana needs to do, is fly out to Russia and do an Ultimate Fighter series there, because their Ultimate Fighter, their version of Ultimate Fighter, is absolute carnage.
Oh yeah, where the guy like choked out Aljo. That was.
They've not got any like. They've got no vices. They just fight. Like I get their fighters and that, but like they're no they can't. I don't know. They've no hesitation. They just start throwing punches. Like you're on telly. You're trying to be like professional fighter, but the Russians just didn't play the games with the trash talk. And if you say something, they just want to batter you.
Craziness, absolute craziness. No. Did you want to touch on Bo Nickel?
Oh, poor Bo.
Poor Bo.
Well, first of all, are you surprised he got beat?
No, I knew he was gonna get beat. The second that fight was announced, I was like, I questioned ATT. I believe he trains ATT, and I was like, why would they allow him to take this fight? This is a terrible fight for him.
Terrible matchup.
It went exactly as I thought it would go. Bo doesn't have the experience to beat someone like RDR. Like it's just clear as day. I didn't understand who was like, sign that contract. But he did say in his interview with Ariel Helwani, because Ariel asked, like, did anybody say maybe this is too much too soon? And he said that's pretty much the conversation they have before every fight he signs. And I'm like, I guess I understand that. It probably wouldn't be too different than every single fight he's had up to this point, because he doesn't have experience and probably shouldn't be in the UFC.
No, that level.
But he's here.
The thing is as well, it's just like you see some fighters like when they're getting hit, and it sounds daft, but you can see the way he reacts to shots, and obviously it's different in fights. It's completely different, but you can tell he's not had that years upon years of full hard sparring in the gym. You can just see the way he takes shots. It's like he's not used to getting hit. Which obviously it's different when it's full thingy, but it makes you question, like, is he like, what's he actually like in the gym? Are they like, you see that much of the golden boy? They're no one to put someone in to maybe try to hurt him, but you need that. Like all these fighters that make it, they're hard sparring. He's thrown in that fast, and because of who he is, they've maybe been hesitant about giving him somebody in the gym that's maybe going to give him problems. But he would rather have problems in sparring in the gym than lose live on telly the way he did. I do feel terrible. Bad him, but
he looked terrible in that fight.
Didn't he look like? Did he look like he didn't belong there, Bam?
Like all he has is that same overhand, which leaving the Paul Craig fight, people were like, "Yo, he just kept throwing that overhand." He goes in this fight, he doesn't have a jab, he's got no real head movement. He just throws the overhand. He didn't really know what to do in the clinch. He was controlled. We thought that would be where he would shine in those exchanges, but it's not. All right, he was overpowered. He's probably in the wrong weight class. All right. He probably dropped down to 170. He's in the wrong weight class. He's too small. He looked bad. And I think the most concerning thing that I got from the interview that he had with Helwani was that he was like, I want to fight 2 more times this year. He wants to get right back in there, which tells me he doesn't know how bad he looked in that fight. He doesn't understand.
I think what he needs to do is he needs to just knuckle down. He's still young. I mean, I'm sure he 26, 27, maybe a bit older.
He's super young. I think he's under 30.
He's under 30. He needs a few hard rounds in the gym. That's what he needs. And concentrate. Put your heels on the ground and remember who you are. Because I think he fought like
29 years old.
29. See, it's he's still young. It's not the youngest, but with his wrestling background, he's got plenty of time to catch up with the striking. But I think he needs to have. It just needs what he needs was in the gym. Because he needs to get that toughened up a bit. And obviously, sorry me saying that about a guy that is a professional fighter at the end of the day, but still, you can see it. He's not used to being hit.
He's not used to being hit.
And I think that is really in the gym. As I said, like I can't see people that he's sparring with wanting to hurt him, but you need to. Like, how are you going to know how it feels? Like, unless you get it done, and it's better to get it done in the gym of people that you know's no going to maybe not hit you as hard as that in the face, or like just like it just seemed like vulnerable. He's just no used to getting hit. He's not any like backlash or that. I think it's in the gym that's failed him. Like he's not had enough. I don't know how he just. He's had a few fights in that UFC, but he's not had enough resistance.
Yeah, I don't think he's probably not hard sparring. And if he is hard sparring, they're probably not putting anybody that would ever hurt him against him. Mm-hmm. They're just putting him somebody that he's going to feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. His confidence is going to be up after this. Cause like, I don't know, man. I thought Luke Thomas was talking about it and he was like, fight by fight, it looks like his striking and his wrestling have regressed. I felt like his striking looked better at first. And now he's just throwing one overhand over and over. Like, but he looks worse each fight. So
never believe it. It's his own hype though. He's only one to talk about it. Like he's saying he's getting carried away. He's already talking about a stadium against Hamzat and all that. And you're like, Hamzat on the way up had all these fights. And as good as Hamzat is, we know how good he is, right? The fight with Bunch was, even though it was closer than what everyone maybe thought, and people maybe get him flack for it, going, oh, he went to a decision and Bunch could have won that. But I think that was a good thing that he had that fight, because you seen what he was made of. Like Hamzat, like the game plan went out the window and he was just on a pure dog fight. And similar with the Usman fight as well, Hamzat. Whereas both, imagine both fought any of them. Like, what would have happened to him if he fought even Gilbert Burns, who's a 170er, but both probably no, but he's not the biggest of guys in himself. But can you imagine what Usman would do to Bo Nickel?
He's just not talented he's not talented enough to be fighting people at this level. Yeah. I think the big question here, right? I was talking to people on Twitter, and this is the question that I had, because I thought initially this is a good loss for Bo. Mm-hmm. He could go home, eat that humble pie, and then come back, like take those lessons. I need to improve here. But then Charles Energy Johnson, he replied and said, I don't think that'll happen. No. Like he was like, maybe he'll just leave and think this is an off night.
That's
right. And the fact that he wants 2 more fights tells me that's where he's probably gonna glean, is that it was just an off night. Is that what you feel like it is with Bo? Like, or do you think he can learn from this?
I think because the way he trains and the coaches has got, he will sort of learn. He will learn for it. 100% will learn for regardless. But I do think he is the type of person that will just think he had an off night. He might be saying the things that he thinks sounds good. Oh, I wasn't ready for him, blah, blah, blah. But in his mind, I still think he thinks, no, I just had an off night. If I was to fight him a week down the line or a month down the line on another night, I'd maybe beat him. But he wouldn't it? He would, mate, Nickel needs to fight like... Who do you even put him against, though? That's the thing. Who are you meant to put him against?
See, this is the problem, right? He fought a lot of lesser talent, people who weren't UFC level that they brought in last second to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you put him against RDR that people were like, oh, he's like a bigger Paul Craig, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's a lot better than Paul Craig. Matter of fact, everybody in that top 15 is a lot better than Bo Nickel. So you can't really... How many fights can you put him against an unranked guy before you have to put him back in there?
You can't...
A really good fighter.
You can't protect them. You can't make it always to protect them, because it's not like you can give him maybe a few unranked guys that he'll run through and then gradually do it. Like maybe what they similar to like the Sean O'Malley and Paddy Pimblett. They were beating these people. He's losing to the people. Like, people want to say, oh, Paddy got an easy run through to where he was, or Sean O'Malley did too, or they'll say that about certain fighters. But they were winning these fights. You know what I mean? Like, they were winning them, and convincingly most of them as well. Whereas the fights that he shouldn't have any problems in, even the other couple of fights he's been in, he's not looked great at all.
No, he hasn't looked great. He's fought his wins, dude. He's got 8 fights, all right, total, and he's not ready for this, dude. No. Like, they need to cut Bo Nickel.
Get him. Go away, Bo Nickel. We've had enough of you already. Go back to the
regional scene. Like, he needs to fight not UFC level competition and actually get that time in the cage and come back when he's like 34. 35.
Come back for his retirement fight.
Yeah, come back later, man.
If that because he'll probably be getting paid good money as well. It would not surprise me if he's getting paid a decent amount.
I bet he is.
He was on the main card at 300.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, I didn't come here to be a prelim fighter." How do you see that? That is another problem. He said he didn't come here to be a prelim fighter. They put him ahead of a lot of former champions on UFC 300.
Yuri was on the prelims.
Yuri versus Jamal, right?
No, I think Yuri versus Rakic wasn't all that.
Oh, Yuri versus Rakic. Yep. So they put, I think, was Aljo? I think Aljo was on that.
Versus, who did Aljo fight?
Was it Calvin?
Calvin, I think it was Calvin Cater.
Yeah, he fought Calvin Cater. And then Bo was on the main card. So does Bo stay on the main card? I mean, I guess he's still a big name.
Bo's at the apex. That's where Bo's fighting next, at the apex. But the thing is, do you know what I think they'll do though? I think they'll just get him pure bin men. They'll just get him. They'll get him the worst possible fight. But the thing is, what if he gets beat for them again?
Yeah, he can't.
Like,
he has to fight bigger names. Where's Abus Magomedov?
Get him CM Punk.
Yeah, they're about the same size, I would say.
Punk would probably beat him. It makes CM Punk look like as Israel Adesanya on the feet.
See, that's crazy that you mentioned that, because I felt like that they're pretty similar, CM Punk and Bo Nickel. They're pretty much the same.
Nickel's younger, explosive, and he's got the rest on. But
yeah,
I honestly would not surprise me if CM Punk could beat Bo Nickel on the feet.
I don't know about that. But I say they're similar in the facts that what we saw with CM Punk, he was definitely not on this level. Should not have fought in the UFC. But then once he fights in the UFC, he can't go fight amateur fights because now he's a professional. So if he wanted to pursue this, he's gone too far too fast. And now Bo is already here in the UFC. So like,
you can't. There's no going back now. But
there's no going back.
You can go back and then come back. But how often do you hear it happen? Very rarely. The only person I think they should do, and I think he's doing everything he can do, Makayev, mate,
Oh yeah.
You know, he's making noise outside the UFC, and the UFC will be forced to re-sign him if he keeps winning. He needs to keep winning. But like, even in karate combat and his grappling and he's winning, and he's like 24, 25. Maybe
he just tweeted at Jeff Molina challenging him to bare knuckle boxing.
Mate, if he's doing all this type of stuff and he's trying all these different, because I think he is only what? He must only be 24, if that.
Yeah, he's super young.
24.
Super young.
He'll be back in the UFC within the next 2 years. And they're crazy if they didn't re-sign him. They should give him, they should say, listen, your actions are a bit wild.
You've 24 years old.
Backstage.
He'll be 25 in July.
Mate, that's mad young. That's super young. You know what I mean? For how talented he is. Wrestling, unbelievable. Striking,
yeah, I thought he was going to be UFC champion. I don't know what happened.
It might be a blessing in disguise for him, taking that time away from the UFC though, because he is so young and doing different combats and doing these grappling tournaments and karate combat and stuff like that. I didn't want him to go into bare knuckle though. I think that's a bit. I don't know if he's sort of taking the piss a bit, but it wouldn't surprise me because he's wanting. Yeah. He's wanting to prove to everybody, I think, that he's worthy of getting back to the UFC and say, look what I'm doing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. When, mate, it's already like elite. He's elite. Like, I don't care what anyone says. He's an elite fighter already.
And he knows not to sign with like PFL or anything because they'll like blackball him from that point.
Aye. Well, nah, they're crazy. I think they'll get him back. They'll within the next year or so. I think he has one more fight doing even a grappling or the thing is where's he mate? Did they fight at Brave? If he was going to fight at Brave, I
believe he fought. He won, I believe.
He's fought at Brave, he done a grappling, he grappled with somebody, I can't remember, and he won that, and then he's won at Karate Combat.
Yeah, like, versus Balat Zaman Bekov. And he won at Brave in December against Joe Vincent So. First round submission.
They need to re-sign him. It's as simple as that. They're mad if they don't. I think they will though. He's too good and he's too young not to sign him.
I thought it was crazy when he was signed to grapple against Raul Rosas, and then Dana White made him cancel it. He said Dana called him. And Raul Rosas called him, or Dana called Raul and told him to cancel it and focus on MMA. He didn't want him to grapple Muhammad Makayev after they cut Muhammad.
Makayev's legit. You know what I mean? He's legit. So
yeah, and he would have beat
the poster boy.
Yeah, man. I would love to see Muhammad back in the UFC, but
he'll be back. He'll be back very soon, I think.
I hope. But anything else you want to chat about this week?
Nah, not really, mate. We just sort of touched on everything. We'll see how this weekend goes. Maybe do a wee review show or whatever. Maybe Belal, Canelo will come
Canelo hands, yeah.
See that. Do a wee review and we'll get another wee podcast going next Wednesday or whenever. See when it comes out or whatever. But aye.
Yeah. I think I'll be live streaming. I'll be doing a watch along on millions.com this weekend. So
this Saturday. See, that's the thing. Doing the watch alongs is good. Would be good to do it. It's just so late. I'd be sitting at like trying to stay awake. It's hard enough to watch the card when it's that late in here. I'll see though. We'll see what we can do.
But all right, thank you, ladies and gents, for the first week of hopefully our weekly podcast. This is your boy Jermaine Event here with Lewis Collins, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
See you soon.